how Western community is receptive about new changes happening, the so-called the outer world, other than them. So, is that any tendency that to nullify nothing other than Western is science or like that?
It's a fact. It's a fact that the Western scientists abroad think that it is their science. They made it. We are just doing it. That is true. That's a fact. Fact also in some sense. That's because we are not assertive enough. For example, I can state this from the context of what I have done. What I have done is absolutely impeccable in its logic and its empirical evidence. It is right. There is no choice for the physics community, global physics community, but to accept what I am saying eventually. That I am completely sure. I am more confident than Copernicus or Galileo in this aspect. However, the Indian science community, which should have looked at what I have done, scrutinized, debated it, and either rejected it based on this debate or accepted and supported me, have kept absolutely quiet with no response, which has greatly delayed the acceptance of what I am saying. But eventually it has to be accepted because the universe with all its galaxies and matter, after all it exists. We know that it exists, we can see through a telescope. So the gravity also exists. If the gravity exists, then it controls all dynamics. So what I am saying is logically correct, it's empirically correct, there is no choice. But the question is whether the Indian scientific community will ever take courage in saying that we can say something new. We can also advance a new paradigm and contribute to science. And until that happens, it will stagnate. But I am determined to make people look at it.
Having a very desperate response from your fellow community. So, how do you take things forward?
Yeah, see, it requires enormous integrity, confidence in one's results, and a belief in what one has done properly to sustain, because one can be easily discouraged in this kind of a situation. But I am not discouraged at all. I am not deterred by this kind of petty response, because I know that this has happened many times in the history of science. It has happened. So I am repeatedly warning the scientific community in India that listen to me. Just listen to me what I am trying to say. Debate. And if you have an objection, let's debate it. But if you cannot object to what I am saying, support me. And I will more vigorously do this. I recently joined the Defense Institute of Advanced Technology in Pune, and they are very supportive. And I am going to advance these theories, its applications in the next 4 or 5 years very vigorously.
So, I think it's important to talk about different government sensitivity towards science and developments happening all around. You have experiences of
Yes.
30-40 years.
See, there is a government policy for science, and this policy has been very generous in this country all the time. Of course, this was expected from Nehru's time, because Nehru had a personal friendship with many scientists at that time. People like Homi Bhabha or Saha, who built up institutions. There is a personal relationship with that. After that, Indira Gandhi and various prime ministers like that, this policy has continued. And it's also, there's a realization that the support of fundamental science was very crucial in the development of two absolutely crucial departments, the Department of Space and the Department of Atomic Energy in the country. And of course, associated with that, all other science departments. So, generally, both the public perception as well as the politician's perception. Politician means people in power of various government. They were all very supportive of science in India because they want a visible scientific activity of the country, certainly at a level which is high enough to be noticed by the global physics community, global science community. And that is being continued even by government today, though it is not very clear whether all support for science is a measured, well-judged things, that we cannot say. But even today, the support for science is good. But at the same time, the support for primary education and so on has remained low. There are a lot more institutions, but the effectiveness of education has not, it has only reduced, I would say. I mean, we cannot build a competent, educated society by doing Byju's application just like that. It has to be happening in the school, in the proper school, and not like just some coaching classes and so on, where that kind of a focus is probably slowly going away is what I feel.
So all the very best, sir. Let your struggle have a result. Let your community ready to hear you and have a debate with you. All the very best.
I don't know whether the community will be ready to debate, but I have to force them to debate. That I will force them to debate, and that's what I want to do in the next few years.
আমাদের ভিডিও ভালো লাগলে লাইক এবং শেয়ার করুন। কমেন্ট সেকশনে গিয়ে জানান আপনাদের মতামত। আরও ভিডিও পেতে আমাদের চ্যানেল সাবস্ক্রাইব করুন এবং প্রতি মুহূর্তে খবরের আপডেট পেতে প্রেস করুন বেল আইকন।